Hey y'all, on today's show, we help Beth find an audience for her online business.
Welcome to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast, where life always comes before work. We're your hosts, Shane and Jocelyn Sams. We're a real family that figured out how to make our entire living online. And now, we help other families do the same. Are you ready to flip your life? All right, let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast. It is great to be back with you again today. Super excited to talk to another member of our community so that we can help them take their online business and their online goals and their dreams to the next level. But first, we want to let you know that the Flip Lifestyle Podcast is brought to you by the Flip Your Life community. That's where we teach real people, just like our guests and just like you, how to start, build, and grow their online business. We are proud to be one of the only business podcasts that does not sell ads or sell interview spots to guests who are selling their latest book or affiliate products. No, we are 100% supported by our members, listeners, and fans. That keeps us independent, free, and focused on doing what's best for you, the Flip Lifestyle listener. We'd love to have your support and support you in your online business journey inside of the Flip Your Life community. Members get early access to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast each week, bonus and extended episodes of the show, complete access to our entire training library of courses to help you start, build, and grow your own online business, and access to hundreds of other family-focused entrepreneurs from around the world in one of the most active business communities online. So help us keep the Flip Lifestyle Podcast ad and affiliate free, all while we help you build your dreams and create a better future for your family. We have affordable plans starting for as little as $19 a month, and your first month comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. You can learn more at fliplifestyle.com/flipyourlife. Join today. We appreciate your support and can't wait to help you reach your goals online. That's fliplifestyle.com/flipyourlife. Join today. And with that, we are super excited to bring on a real member of the Flip Your Life community. Our guest today is Beth Dekker. Beth, welcome to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
It is awesome to have yet another member of the Dekker family in our community. We also have your brother-in-law, Dan, and his lovely wife, Rebecca.
And we are, the Dekker, they're taking over. It's kind of like they're taking over a whole wing. They might need their own forum eventually.
Dekker clan only.
The Dekker forum, it'd be exclusive membership. You got to pay extra. You got to be a true Dekker or related to a Dekker to get into that part.
There you go. It's another level.
That would definitely be a fun group to be a part of, I am sure. But we are very excited to have you in our community, and we look forward to talking to you today about how to grow your online business. So tell us a little bit about you and your background and what you are doing online.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I have been listening to the podcast for the last few years, but I only recently joined the community. So I'm kind of at the very beginning of the process, but I am coming to the Flip Your Life event though this year, and I'm really the live event, and I'm excited about that. I have spent the last 13 years or so as essentially a support person for small business owners. So that's been kind of my day job for several different entrepreneurs. I've had many titles. Manager, executive assistant, studio director. But ultimately, among all of them, I perform the basic same functions. I was essentially the business owner's right-hand person. My skills generally are in like ideation, activation, and restoration. So I have pretty good abilities to organize and prioritize the lots of ideas that my different entrepreneurs were generating and make them reality. Over the years, when I would tell people what I did, I generally got two main responses. Most of the business owners that I would talk to would invariably say, I need a Beth. And the people who had similar skills would say, I want to learn how to do that. Right. So I had the idea to start a company back in, I think it was 2017, called The Right Hands. And I developed my course called Superhero Management to be able to train people to do what I do. So far, I've taught several in-person courses, but I'm really interested in being able to scale up my company to be able to reach people everywhere and step into the membership model. I do have a kind of a newer relationship this year with a big co-working company here in Columbus, where I live and work, where I'm providing some education to their members, and they have several hundred members that are already kind of built-in small business owners. So that means for now that I'm offering workshops in their locations, which are both free and paid. But my hope is that I can use this to generate leads for kind of a future membership plan.
Awesome. I love your business. I talked about you off air that I was going to say this, but like for all the Game of Thrones fans out there, like you kind of train people to be the hand of the king, right? Like you're training like the person who goes out and like that you got this crazy ideas generated leader of the company who has all the great ideas and can set the direction and cast the vision, but you need somebody to like funnel it together and actually execute all that and lead the teams and do all that. And you train people like how to do that, correct?
Yes, that's exactly it. So I was doing it for a while, and quite honestly, this has happened throughout history. I mean, I think Alexander Hamilton is also one of the most famous right hands in history. To
Yep.
George Washington as an aide de camp. So this is certainly a position that has been around for forever. I didn't invent that, but I did realize I was doing something a little bit more unique than people who maybe have the title of executive assistant or personal assistant or virtual assistant or whatever that may be.
For
that
sure.
it's kind of all of those things together, and that I realized it was being successful, but that when I thought about it, I was like, gosh, this is actually teachable. I can teach what I'm doing. It's not just me.
Anyone that graduates your program, you need to send them the little pin with the hand with the sword behind it, like from Game of Thrones, and like you are now the hand of the king, right? Like
Yeah, I'm
name
pretty
it.
sure that's like copyright.
Probably copyright infringement of some kind. It's kind of awesome.
But I understand what you're saying. I love it when you said that there's a difference between an assistant and like somebody's right hand. And I totally agree with that. We've had a variety of assistants through the years, but there's one person that I kept coming back to. And the reason for that is because like that person just really provides the skills that I need, and they have that training that I needed to do a lot of different roles. And, I often say that I call it the competent right hand. So this person for me is like, she can do most of what I can do, which is amazing. So it's just so amazing to have somebody who has that type of skill set. And, most people are looking for that.
And it's a special person too, right? Because like it really is a different role. It is not a virtual assistant. It's someone who you can trust to do all the things that you need to do but can't, and can't do but need someone to do them, right? Like, and they kind of take over, they kind of fill in all the gaps that are holding you back. And there's just like infinite trust in that person that they're going to carry out their mission, right?
Yeah. A big part of my class talks a lot about the relationship, and that relationship between that person and your small business owner or your entrepreneur, whatever you want to call them, is based in trust. And I did a lot of research. I did several dozen interviews with right hands and their entrepreneurs before I launched my business. And almost every one of the entrepreneurs said that their number one thing is they wanted to be able to trust somebody who had an owner mentality. And so that they were able to trust them to be able to walk into a room and, for example, if the floor needed swept, instead of them leaving the room and not doing it, that they would grab a broom and they would sweep it, because that's like what an owner would do.
Have you ever seen that meme? There's an awesome meme that meets this criteria where there's this dead possum in the middle of the road.
I mean, of course we would go there.
Jocelyn, it's Kentucky. There's dead possums everywhere, right? But like, there's this awesome meme with a dead possum on the road, and it's got like the yellow line, that goes down the middle of the road, and the yellow line just paints right over the possum. And just keep going, but you can't see the paint truck, and the meme's like, not my job or something like that. Like the guys that were painting didn't stop, get out. But like, that's what you really need your right hand to do. You need your right hand to see something that's wrong even before you see it and fix it. So you don't have to deal with it, so you can be the visionary.
I know that for me as a business owner, like what I want that person to do is to be a problem solver. Like, I don't need to be involved in every single problem. If you can solve it without me, 9 times out of 10, actually probably 99 times out of 100, I want you to solve it without my intervention.
Yeah, I always say that the mark of, a mature employee is somebody who is able to present a problem to their boss alongside a solution to that problem, even if it's not the perfect solution, that they've made an attempt to solve the problem already, instead of just coming up and saying there's a dead possum in the road. They're actually going to make an effort.
Right. So we've talked about Game of Thrones and dead possums, so we're going to circle back around here. Online. You don't find dead possums in Game of Thrones, just everywhere, only on the Flip Lifestyle podcast.
You can be thankful.
You can be thankful for that. This is a really interesting niche. I've always been fascinated by your business ever since the first time we heard about it. But just because it creates so much opportunity, and I think there's a really huge market for this, because you can elevate. Like, there's a lot of people that do this for a living that could do it better. They could benefit from your course, right? There's a lot of people who are in that virtual assistant role and may want to step up their game and become someone who's a higher paid employee, who's a right hand to the entrepreneur. And look, here's the deal. A lot of people want the flipped lifestyle. They want to be able to make money virtually or have more freedom or work with somebody who's really exciting and a really cool company. And they don't know exactly how to do that because they don't want to own the company. We hear that all the time. People come in, they're like, I don't want to lead a company. I don't want this business, but I do want to do something else. We've had a few people on the show now that have talked about other ways to do this. Like a few weeks ago, we interviewed a virtual travel agent. We interviewed someone who teaches language online to Chinese students. We talked to all kinds of different people. And I see this almost like that. Like, you're kind of training people to really thrive in a role that they're perfect for and be able to build that life that they want. Like, a lot of these people are going to be virtual. We call ours an executive assistant. That's what we call ours, right? I may, Kathy, if you're listening, I may change you to the hand of the king and the queen. Okay. We might change that. I might send you a pen, but like,
queen.
I said in queen. I'm always, this is a team, tag team duo here. Right. But like that person is virtual for us. She lives in another town, right? A little ways away. We don't really meet in person a lot, but it's just, man, having a competent person that can handle all that stuff. Like, we're getting ready to hire some new help for the summer for some various like pop-up tasks. And we just know that we can turn them loose to her, and that's cool, right? We don't have to worry about it. And this is a great opportunity for anybody out there. This could be something you could open up to and say, hey, I could do that. I don't want to start the business. I don't want to teach the courses, but I could do that. And then you help people kind of elevate themselves into a role like that.
Yes, exactly. And honestly, my background is in the arts, in theater specifically. And what I have found is that people that have that kind of creative brain, more artistic brain, but that enjoy kind of the organizational side of things, often make the best right hands. And they generally kind of find themselves in positions where they are these support people, but they become kind of superstars in their own right, and are able to really take on the right hand role as an executive assistant.
Okay, Beth. So I've sort of already got like a plan for your business worked out in my mind. But before we go there, I want to know sort of what are you doing online right now? So I know you said that you have like in-person workshops that you do, and I know that you have a website. So what is it that you're doing right now? Like, are you actually selling anything? And, what does that look like right now?
Sure. So I have a Squarespace site, and so I just sell essentially products on there, services on there, and I have my classes on there. So I have my main superhero management class, which is a 2-session course. It's kind of the big one. I do believe that in the future it can be broken down even farther than that. It's a really dense course, but I have that class, and then I have several other ones that are kind of more enhancing other skills that a right hand would need, things like social media work, that kind of stuff. So I have several classes online. I have some that are listed that are in person, and then I have the most are listed as live webinars. And so I'm selling those there. I have sold a handful of them this year, which has obviously been great. And I've taught my superhero management class a couple times, and then the in-person ones a couple times, and they went really well. But it's certainly not the numbers that I want to see.
So are these, okay, so the courses are all live, or you have some that are pre-recorded? What's the 2 sessions?
They're all live. They are all live. My goal is to do them pre-recorded, but just because I'm just starting up, I just haven't gotten there yet. They're all live.
But you have done these online before to live audiences, and you've got recordings of those, correct?
I do, yes.
Okay. What do you charge for the workshop?
So that's another one of my issues is figuring out what that works. So my smaller workshops that are more like 45 minutes with a kind of a Q&A at the end are $45 a piece. But my large superhero management course, which is it's a little over 3 hours over kind of a 2-session course, is $149.
Who are you marketing each course to?
Is it the same person? So the small courses are skills. And then, so the large course is kind of like the base, and then the skill development adds on top of the base, these smaller workshops. Is that correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's say I'm a wannabe hand of the king. I'm the foot of the king. I want to be the hand, right? And I come in and I'm like, okay, well, I need to take the superhero management thing for $149, right? And then I need to then shore up my skills in these other areas, other workshops, like, I'll take the $49 social media course. I'll take the $49 whatever course. Is that the correct flow that people usually go through this?
Yes, that's kind of the intention. I have divided up my site into, if there's a button, where on the very front it says, if you're an entrepreneur, click here. If you're a right hand, click here. And the classes that I've offered for each avatar, if you will, are different. Some of them are overlapping, of course, but they're slightly different. So, but yes, you're right. I think the superhero management would be, the big one, and then there's all these additional courses on the end.
So, is there a course for the entrepreneur to learn how to train their hand of the king or whatever? Right? Like,
no, that's definitely coming because.
Okay.
Because that was something that I think as I was going through your courses, and I realized when I was really answering the question of avatar, and I was like, I'm actually selling to the entrepreneur,
right?
Because they're the ones that are buying their employees this class.
Yep.
That's not always
that's right. But some people have bought them, but some people haven't. Correct.
Right. I would say probably 75% of the courses were purchased by the entrepreneur. The other 25% were purchased by right hands or assistants that wanted to learn more about being a right hand.
Awesome. So and now, have you done any one-on-one actual training?
Yes, I have done several hours of that kind of individually. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So really what this looks like, and our goal for this call is basically to figure out how this turns into a recurring revenue model of training, right? That's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
To learn how to do that. So to me, well, Jocelyn's got some ideas. What were you going to say first?
Okay. So my thought is that this is a perfect place to start for a membership site. And I think that your mind has already gone there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I think that you've already got a perfect start. In the end, I think this would be a perfect way to match people, basically, as like a, what would you call it? Like a
headhunter service for right hands. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like if you had a bunch of entrepreneurs over here training, and you had a bunch of assistants training to be entrepreneurs, and you could connect them together like for a fee almost, or that would just be a benefit of membership. They would be able to network to hire each other or something, Yeah.
So that was my initial goal. that was like way back when I was talking about it, literally everybody I interviewed said, if you could give me a list of right hands right now that I could interview, I would 100% pay you a lot of money to do that.
And they would be guaranteed trained. That's what's amazing about it.
Yeah,
I can even see this as like a certification type situation.
Yes. That's exactly what I was thinking. But I think where I really got caught up though in that is all of a sudden I was like, shoot, I don't know how to market, or I don't know how to find I want to be a right hand audience. So I have tons of entrepreneurs. I literally am stopped on the street of people that know that I'm doing this and know me. And they're like, hey, do you have anybody in mind for so-and-so? And I don't have right hands in the wings right now that I have trained, and I don't know where to find them. And that's one of my challenges.
Yeah. Okay. So what we've got to do first is we've got to figure out what the actual membership looks like. Okay. And then this may evolve. This will be an interesting chat because it's going to I have a feeling that whatever we talk about in the next 5 minutes will totally change by the last 5 minutes. Right? Because we're going to have to toy with this a little bit because, it's almost like we don't want to make this a job service necessarily.
Sure.
It's a benefit of the membership that if you train here, we could recommend you to entrepreneurs, right? Or you will have the opportunity to network with entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So to me, I think you can charge quite a bit for this. Like you're talking about that $49 for a workshop, but like this is easily $50 a month. Maybe this might be a $97 a month membership. Okay. It's because this is a valuable thing because you're not only training people to get better jobs, but you're helping entrepreneurs to make more money by having a better team and training their team better, right? All that stuff. Okay.
Right.
So you're on the right path. And I'm drawing a picture here of entrepreneurs on one side, right? But we're going to say hands on the other, like you're in good, the right hand person, right? There's definitely two tracks in the membership. You're going to have to go ahead and make this thing for the entrepreneurs. Like that's got to be done like right now.
Well,
right?
And some of that is already done, correct?
Well, she has webinars. Do you have slides that you've went through and all that stuff? Like when you do the presentations?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have full prezzies for all those. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So why don't, instead of just making new stuff, why don't you just kind of edit those up and clean them up a little bit and make those your courses right now? And you could put them, and you could put all those in a membership area just like we do. Right. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so basically you tomorrow or this week could have the entire right-hand side of the equation completely finished. Correct?
Yes, I certainly have plans for more classes, but yes, of the classes that I have right now, I could. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay, so we're going to put all those on this side. I'm drawing 3 squares over here to represent the course area because that's the first step in any membership. Content is first. We have to curate content into an organized plan that they should take in order or be able to a la carte go get what they need when they need it, right? So your course on the hand side of the equation, right? And inside the membership is going to look like this. The master, that big thing at the, why do you call it management? What was the name of that course? Superhero management?
Oh, superhero management. Yeah. Because when I first described what I did to people, I usually told them that I was busy managing superheroes because one of my first inspirations for this class was actually Pepper Potts and Iron Man. Right. I remember I 10 years ago, the first time I had the idea for this class was I was watching Iron Man. And I remember I turned to my husband and I was like, oh my God, I'm Pepper Potts.
That's amazing. All right. Do you explain that in the course? Like when you say that?
I do, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Right. So there's the first course. They have to take that first. I do think your instincts are correct about breaking that into parts, not just 2 sessions. Like you might be like week 1, you watch the first half of part 1, right? And you go take action and learn and whatever, ask questions. What do you do? So you're just going to list these in order, and that's going to be a course. On the other side of your content area is the entrepreneur side, where you're going to have like how to train with your person, how to communicate with your person. I'm sure you've already got this all thought out, right?
Oh, yes. As far as that, the initial class goes, yes.
Okay. So really, I think entrepreneurs consider themselves, whether they are or not, really busy. Right?
Yeah.
So really getting an entrepreneur in is just, hey, I've got one course for you, and then you're going to make your assistant watch the other courses. Right? Mm-hmm. So really your only goal when you're selling to entrepreneurs is short course. I'm going to teach you how to communicate and train your person, your right hand. And like, it's going to take you 45 minutes of your life and you're done. Then you're going to turn the rest of this over to them. Right? The better, and then you can add stuff later, but that's the initial gist of this is let me get you started. And then you're going to work with your right-hand person. Just so we've got something in there for entrepreneurs to market. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So there's your content area. All right. That's the first part of building a membership. The second part of building a membership is community. Okay. So we curate content. Okay. Imagine if you got a triangle drawn in front of you and there's a big C in the middle of it. There's 3 C's to any program like this. So content's easy. We've already got it all done. We just have to organize it correctly. Okay. The next part is community, right? How are you going to build a community of entrepreneurs and right hands, right? I don't know that. What do you think? How are you going to build it? How are you building it now? Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I thought a lot about that because, one of your videos, I think it was a couple weeks ago for the Flip Your Life Live members. And I do think that it will most likely be like a Facebook group where I'm able to come in and answer questions at a certain amount of time. I would love to be able to have some kind of live Q&As on there as well. I do like FaceTime. I'm a FaceTime kind of person. And so I think that having that in there to be able to answer questions to each other is just great as a support group.
Okay. I think you're going to have them separate. You might need 2 groups in this case. Okay.
Okay.
I believe your business owners need to maybe be in a group together, right? And that's where you train business owners and they can ask you questions on how to like communicate better, how to lead their team. This is definitely a leadership kind of group, right? And then you need your right hands as separate, completely separate from them for a couple reasons. One, I think the entrepreneurs and the right hands would feel more comfortable only being around their peers. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
Yeah, because you can say things that you can't say in front of bosses, and bosses can say things that they can't say in front of employees, right? They just
it's a safe space. Yes,
exactly. Safe space to vent, complain, and do all that stuff, and ask you questions. Okay,
or to talk about how amazing they are,
or to brag on each other. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to happen. Okay, but also if you're going to make a feature of this membership connecting entrepreneurs to the right hands, you don't really want them to talk to each other because that's something that you have to be the gatekeeper of, right? Because if they can find them themselves, they wouldn't need you. Okay.
Sure.
So there is a strategic reason to separate them other than we just want different groups like talking in the different groups. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Is that okay? Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, that's perfect. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The management of that's pretty easy because if you are going to do Facebook Lives, or any kind of Q&A lives, we have found that the best schedule is every other week anyway. Like we tried to do like weekly one time and it actually was like too available. So people would not come because they're like, I'll catch the next one. I'll catch the next one. Right. So it actually works really good on like a bi-monthly schedule, like every other week. So you could do like week 1 and 3 could be the entrepreneurs and week 2 and 4 are the right hands. And now you're only still doing like an hour and a half work a week on these to manage those groups. It's just they're separate and you don't have to worry about it.
Sure.
All right. So we talked about content. We talked about community. We got these 2 groups that we're going to set up for the different people. The third, point in the triangle for any membership is coaching. Like it's just being a leader, right? But I think you're going to kind of cover that on those Facebook Lives, right? Like you're going to do that stuff. And you could even offer a one-on-one tier above the normal membership price, right? So you could have because you like doing one-on-one, you just said you like getting face-to-face, you like doing that consulting stuff, correct?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, so I would just have a nice coaching package that's probably the same. It might be like the same price, for either tier if they wanted to have some one-on-one coaching. In addition to the thing, it'd give you something to sell on each Facebook Live, like maybe you take 3 calls a week or something like that just to boost revenue. And that way you just got that leadership thing in there and you're good on both sides. Okay.
Sure.
So that's the membership. Like that's what it looks like. That's how you get people like into your stuff. And it's pretty much mostly all created. Like you've got the Squarespace thing. You can sell access to courses on Squarespace. Is that correct?
So you can sell individual services, and then you can also sell, products. So the issue is I would need some kind of a plugin or some other program to be able to create like a membership space on Squarespace.
Why don't you just use something like Kajabi or ClickFunnels? Because
I certainly can. I just need to learn.
Yeah, or alternatively, you could create another website where your membership is housed.
Oh, that's
true. It could be like a WordPress website, and you could just link to it from your original site.
Yeah, you could do something like that. Yeah. How technical are you with stuff? Is that, like you're using Squarespace, so I'm assuming have you played with WordPress? Do you know how to do that or not?
I play with a little bit. My husband's site, he's a food and travel writer, and his is on WordPress, and so he knows it a little better than I do. I just feel, for some reason, Squarespace works well with my brain, so I've built several sites on that program. I'm not opposed to WordPress at all, though.
Well, okay, so basically, like WordPress, of course, is the cheapest option, right? Because you just buy the plugin,
but
you install it.
But I don't think you have to blow away what you already have. I think
no,
you can just create something alongside.
Basically, you just write a sales page and you use your site for the sales page, but the little button clicked over
to right hand
to wherever, the actual, the order form or whatever. ClickFunnels is really good with this because ClickFunnels and Kajabi are both not cheap, but they're also really good at really simple content-based memberships, right? So like people would join, they would go to a page that had all your courses, okay? So you might have 2 courses set up and then they can just click and buy and use what they want, log in there. That handles all the payments. And then as they buy, or you just add them into your Facebook group if they're still in the course. Does that make sense? Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty. The only management part when you use something like a Facebook group for your community is the manual keeping up with who's actually paying. So like once a month, you're going to have to go through, you're going to print the customer list, see whose payment failed, see who canceled, and you got to go remove them from the group manually. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's why what we do is we have all of our content, all of our community, everything is hosted on WordPress. That way, if you cancel or your payment credit card fails, it just locks you out of everything. So that's why we choose to do it that way. But it totally works either way. It doesn't matter. Okay.
Sure.
All right. So we've kind of built out what the membership is going to look like. We don't have to scrap your entire website you've already got, right? There's going to be a way to
relief on that one.
That's exactly right. No technical stuff. It's like start 2 Facebook groups, done. Okay. So do you have any follow-up questions, or is any of that confusing, or what do you see with this plan?
No, that seems great. I think that's a really direct way to do it. I think one of my main questions is I do enjoy teaching classes in person. And because of this relationship that I have with this co-working company here in town, which I'm hoping to be able to use that as a great way to, sell my membership, because they have hundreds of members. How should I balance kind of these in-person courses with my online courses? Do I keep them 100% separate? Do I talk about them both on my website? Like how should I work that out so it's not confusing?
Yeah, it's really just an ascension ladder, I think, because what's going to happen is it is a separate product kind of, but it's kind of like our live event. Like you're coming to Flip Your Life Live, right? So like Flip Your Life Live, fliplifestyle.com/live. Boom, we'll see you there. Flip Your Life Live is like a separate product to us. Like it really doesn't it's not really connected with the membership. Like it has its own Facebook group, completely separate from the membership. We do trainings in that completely off the grid of the Flip Your Life community, right? But it's kind of, what all roads lead to in the membership. Like if you're listening to the Flip Lifestyle podcast, we want you to come to Flip Your Life Live. If you're in the community, doesn't matter what tier you're at, we want you to come to Flip Your Life Live. So they're kind of symbiotic in the way they fill each other up. And I think that's what will happen here. You'll find that entrepreneurs will join, you'll make business connections, you'll go do your workshops, which are your courses. But like now, you can get people to come to these workshops, or at the workshops, you can sell people into your membership. So things are going to kind of flow back and forth. And I don't know if you're going to have to separate them like you think you're going to. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, no, it does. I just, when I look at my sales page, I look at it and I'm like, I know what's going on here and I'm confused. So I need to make sure that because I know that the company that I'm working with does want me to have like a little registration area and that kind of thing. And I think I just need to divide that out so that when they're linking to me, they're linking to a specific part of my site that is just what is going on.
We have our, if you want to join I actually just covered this in a training last night for Flip Your Life Live attendees. Like we have a sales page for the membership. Like if you go to fliplifestyle.com/flipyourlife, all one word, right? You're going to land on a sales page for our community, and there's going to be 3 options to join, either our standard membership, our premium membership, or the accelerator program, right? But our one-on-one coaching program, our private mastermind, is not on that page. It's on a different page. Our Flip Your Life Live is not on that page. We don't even talk about it because that's not what we're selling there. They almost string together back and forth. Does that make sense? So yes, you're going to market them separately, but they're going to be very symbiotic and send people. Like, for example, if someone buys a membership to Flip Your Life, the Flip Your Life community, their thank you page sells Flip Your Life Live. If someone buys a ticket to Flip Your Life Live, we say on the thank you page, hey, we just want to make sure that you're going to get the most out of your ticket. Are you a member? We want to make sure that it's not just someone who bought a live event ticket, correct? So they flow back and forth. But if someone literally asked, hey, I need to go to your workshop, you need to point them to the workshop page. And if someone said, hey, I want to join your community at the workshop, you need to be able to point them back to the community where they're completely separate in that regard. But I don't want you to think of it as like a different business. It's almost just a different product.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Would that make it? So do you have the workshops and the community on one page right now?
I have everything on one page, yeah. But like I said, it really is just the past couple of weeks that I've been trying to build out this relationship. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. That's a store is what you've got, not a sales page.
Yeah. And you know what? Like a lot of people do this at first and it's totally fine. Like you just have to think like your customer. So whatever page someone lands on, what is the logical next step for them? And that's what they need to continue down. You know, if they're a business owner and they're reading articles about how to effectively hire someone to assist them in their business, you don't want them landing on a sales page for people who are wanting to become an executive assistant or whatever.
So there'd actually, if I'm following you, Jocelyn, there'd be 3 pages then. She would have an entrepreneur page where they would join the membership in a different way. There would be a right-hand page where they would join the membership. And then there would also be a workshop, which is like a group kind of hiring you kind of thing, right? To come and speak to other business owners.
Well, if that's the way you want to set up your business.
Right,
yes.
for sure. Yeah, if you're going to do all 3 things.
Okay, Beth, let's find out if you have any additional questions for us before we go.
Sure. I just really have kind of one more because it seems like I have pretty much 2 different customers or 2 different avatars that I'm not sure how that affects my sales tactics for both of them or how that affects my lead magnets. If I am offering, say, 2 different items, say, that they could choose from, they could download either this PDF or this PDF, and that they could kind of choose which one, or how that would work if I'm using one thing to sell to 2 different people.
Yeah, you're going to have different lead magnets for sure. And you do have 2 segments of your audience, but so do we. Like, you know, there's some people who really want to go all in DIY. Well, we have a DIY tier in our membership, right? That's marketed way different than we would market for our premium membership, which is more hands-on with me and Jocelyn. There's 2 member calls a month, or even our email program, or even our Voxer program, right? Like, so you do market things a little bit differently in your language. But I don't know if you can I don't know if you have to get away from only dealing with one person. Like, you don't only have to market to entrepreneurs. You don't, like, you're really not selling the program to be the right hand or the program to train your right hand. You're really selling you as the mediator between those 2 tiers. Like, that's what your program actually teaches, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like you're teaching those 2 entities how to exist and make great things happen together, and maybe even how to find each other down the road. So, you know, basically it's like if you had to make a schedule, it would be like, okay, well, on Monday, I'm going to write a blog post that's geared toward the entrepreneur, and then have the lead magnet for the entrepreneur. You know, 5 easy steps to train your right hand, right? Whatever. Mm-hmm. Then on Wednesday, every Wednesday, I'm going to release a piece of content that's geared toward the assistant or the virtual assistant who wants to step up in the company and be the right hand. And then they would have their own lead magnet, right? Like how to make more money being an assistant or whatever, you know, whatever. So they have to have more skills. And then Friday could be something like, you know, a management article of how to manage your right hand. Another one could be like how to serve your entrepreneur. And like, you know, you just go back and forth and talk about different things. Like usually on like a Monday, I'll kind of send out a general email, and the PS will be something like, hey, if you're not a member, you know, we have tiers as low as $19, right? Whatever. And then maybe later in the week, it might be like, hey, I'm opening a spot in our one-on-one mastermind program that's X $1,000. Does that make sense? So like, yes. You're just going to kind of bounce back and forth between the segments, but you are going to need to think of them in silos. Think of them completely independently. But it's just like work. It's just like coaches and players. You know, they're all on the same team, right? Mm-hmm. So you're not really dividing them up. Just your content's going to kind of speak to different people as you go. And I think what will happen as your sample size increases. I know that mostly business owners have bought it now, but there's a whole lot more people at the assistant level wanting to be a higher assistant level than there are business owners. And I think this might flip eventually once you get more numbers like into the funnel.
That'd be great to see. Yeah.
Yeah. Because then you'd have more people to do it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, Beth, I am really looking forward to seeing what happens next in your business and what you're able to accomplish before the live event in September. So before we close today, tell us what is one thing that you plan to work on based on what we talked about.
I think I'm going to work on my, no, I don't think. I am going to work on my sales page and build that out, and then look at building out the membership in WordPress.
Awesome. That's good. And you just need to go tell your husband he's got to help you because he knows how to do it.
There you go.
Right. Well, listen, what a great call. Thank you so much. I love your business. Like ever since I said it earlier, but I really mean it. Like when I first heard about your business, I thought, wow, that is something that every entrepreneur needs, and everyone, on the ladder needs to move up the ladder in their course, in their job. So you've got an awesome idea, and you're already seeing some things happening. And I know when you get this set up correctly, get the marketing in place, that people are going to jump all over it. And just wanted to thank you for coming on the show again, being so transparent, and letting us have a peek inside of your business. And I know a lot of people out there listening are going to get a lot of benefit out of that today. So thanks for being on the show.
No, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. What another great episode of the Flip Lifestyle Podcast. Man, Beth was just killing it, planning her business out, getting that membership ready, building that recurring revenue, and doing it all before she comes to Flip Your Life Live. We cannot wait to meet Beth in person at Flip Your Life Live, and we would love to meet you there too. Flip Your Life Live is an open event for everyone who listens to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast, members of the Flip Your Life community at any level, and we would love to see you there. Flip Your Life Live this year is in Lexington, Kentucky on September 19th through the 21st. Tickets are on sale right now at flippedlifestyle.com/live. That's FLIPPEDLIFE.com/LIVE. You can get your ticket now, but you better hurry because they are selling out fast. We only have about 29 tickets left in the original allotment when I'm recording this podcast. And by the time you hear this, they may be gone. VIP tickets are sold out. We still have a few general admission tickets left. Go to fliplifestyle.com/live, and we will see you in Lexington in September. That's all the time we have for this week, guys. Thanks for listening. Till next time, get out there, take action, do whatever it takes to live your life. We'll see you then.
Bye.